You know the feeling. You're exhausted in Rome, nose buried in a standard guidebook, trying to memorize a list of dates and names that blur together by lunch. When we think of the Vatican, we picture a serene, perfectly orchestrated sanctuary, a quiet place of divine inspiration. But the modern reality looks more like this: elbow-to-elbow crowds, endless security lines, and a tidal wave of art that often leaves you numb after 10 minutes. Official audio tours offer a polite diet of pontiffs and piety. They generally ignore the histories that are gloriously weird, incredibly petty, or that contradict the holy narrative. Seeing the Vatican clearly requires tossing the guidebook. This place is a chaotic scrapbook of stolen pagan relics, aggressive political land grabs, and 500-year-old artistic spite. Start right here, in the Cortile della Pigna. Sitting prominently in its own papal throne of a courtyard is a 4-meter-tall bronze pine cone. It looks like a sacred monument. But centuries before the Vatican existed, Romans used it as a sprinkler. It's a first-century pagan fountain that once gushed water right from the tip. Today, it sits directly across from a cracked-open 20th-century golden sphere. Ancient Roman plumbing meets modern existentialism, right in the Pope's back garden. This kind of historical scavenging is how the collection actually began, and the inciting incident happened in a dirt patch in 1506. A farmer named Felice de Freitas was digging in his vineyard when his shovel hit marble. Within hours, Pope Julius II dispatched his top investigators, including a young Michelangelo, to see what came out of the mud. What emerged was the Laocoon, a massive depiction of a Trojan priest crushed by sea serpents. The Pope bought it instantly, and the Vatican became a museum specifically to house this pagan statue. Look closely at that right arm. When they dug the statue up, the limb was missing. For 400 years, experts argued over its pose, ignoring Michelangelo's insistence that the arm must have bent backward. In 1906, a builder found a chunk of marble in a Roman stoneyard. It was the original arm. It bent backward. The Vatican collection was literally dug out of the earth, built on a foundation of accidental discoveries and buried pagan relics. That earthly origin hides everywhere here. Take the Bramante staircase. It's an intertwining double helix, easily the most photographed architectural icon in the complex. Donato Bramante originally designed it as a smooth, inclined ramp. No steps. He built it so papal mules carrying heavy artwork could climb upstairs without slipping. You see this utilitarian approach disguised in the gallery of maps. It's 120 meters long, lined with 40 massive topographical paintings of Italian regions. Commissioned in the 1580s, these murals are shockingly accurate for a pre-satellite world. But if you look closely at the borders, you'll see several disputed territories proudly painted in as papal property. Paint a map, and you claim the land. Visitors are often so busy looking at the political claims on the walls, they miss the masterpieces directly above them, a ceiling of gilded coffers and frescoes that would be the main attraction in any other museum. Inside these halls, masterpiece-level art serves a functional purpose, masking a mule ramp or enforcing an aggressive territorial land claim. The crowd flows inevitably towards the Sistine Chapel, but the man who painted it hated the job, repeatedly telling the Pope that he was a sculptor, not a painter. He spent 4 years working on scaffolding, ruining his eyesight and permanently damaging his spine, all to fulfill a commission for a pope he absolutely despised. Inside the creation of Adam, look at the red mantle behind God. In 1990, Johns Hopkins neuroanatomists confirmed the shape of this cloak is an anatomically precise cross-section of the human brain. The prefrontal lobe, optic chiasm, and brainstem are perfectly mapped into the folds. For 5 centuries, art historians have debated the implication. Was Michelangelo suggesting that intellect, not just physical life, was God's greatest gift to Adam? Michelangelo left the Pope to celebrate Mass beneath a perfect anatomical map of the human brain, a final, silent statement from a genius working against his will. The Vatican museums function as a living record of human ambition, holding the physical traces of the people who built it. Petty arguments, logistical hacks, and the stubborn scavenging of pagan fountains bring these untouchable masterpieces back down to earth. So the next time you find yourself in Rome, leave the official audio guide at the desk, embrace the chaos, and look for the human fingerprints behind the holy veneer.